give an enormously warm welcome to Darletta Scruggs.
I've been told to stick to time, so I'm going to try my best to do so. I'm very honored to be here. I almost didn't make it because I forgot to turn off my militancy when I got in Dublin at the immigration checkpoint. So I'm actually glad to be here. You can imagine how annoyed when the immigration officer asked me how much money I had, and I said I had $130, and he said he was concerned because that's not enough money. So me being poor is a reason for not entry into another country. But before I start, I want to take the time to really acknowledge the work that our comrades are doing, because it just shows the power of our ideas, that we all come from a different thread in society, but we are woven together by the common ideas of revolutionary socialist ideas. And I think the work is very inspiring for me and for our comrades in the US, so I think we should give them another round of applause. I hope when I'm Peter Taft's age, I'm still kicking and screaming and yelling down with capitalism. Comrades, friends, in the US, we are seeing the US capitalist imperialist war machine breaking right before our eyes, and it gives me great pleasure to be here. What we see is the global crisis of capitalism happening all around the world. Particularly, we saw 3 banks issue a red alert with the impending crisis looming ahead. And what we can see is that the US is no longer seen as the free and democratic society that has to go around the world and save everyone and instill democracy. We are seeing the true reality of the limitations of capitalism in relation to providing the needs of everyday working people. And what we can see with the rise of Trump was absolutely the failure of the capitalist machine, but also the failure of the Democrats in providing an answer to the anger and frustration that working class people are experiencing. What we can see is the failure of 8 years of Obama, who rode the hope and gravy train, who promised economic growth and deliver freedom. But what he has done during his presidency is nothing but issue neoliberal policies and cuts to crucial social programs. What I like to say is Obama swag surfed neoliberalism for 8 years, untouched and unchecked. But the Democrats are going to reap what they sow, and they're experiencing the reality of the fact that they have failed the working class. What we've seen with Hillary and the exposing of the WikiLeaks, with the Democratic Party being tied to Wall Street and imperialist powers like Saudi Arabia and Israel, that they had no connection with the needs of working people and the wants of working people. What we saw in relation to the environment, because I thought that was an important point that was brought up, that Hillary Clinton tells to environmental activists to get lost. That's what she says to speeches to rich billionaire elites. Environmental activists can get lost. That was a choice that voters had between a racist, insane, I can't even, well, I'm going to try not to curse so much, but at some point I am, Trump, and someone who thinks that environmental destruction is something to shoo away like a fly, get lost. And that was exposed with the results of the election, with people who are frustrated and didn't decide to turn up. 46% of voters did not even vote in this election. That's not even including those who have been structured out of the voting system altogether. Now, what have we seen after this outrageous and very shocking victory of Donald Trump? We have seen the Democrats and the corporate media struggle to consolidate power and to quell the frustration. We're seeing Democrat after Democrat lining up behind Trump, saying that they're eager to work with him. Obama says he's hardened by what he heard when he had a conversation with Donald Trump, and that he feels that Donald Trump genuinely cares about America. Well, this is confusing. Imagine how confusing that is when for an entire year we've been sold the idea that Bernie Sanders' platform was too radical and that Trump was a threat, so we had to support Hillary. For an entire year, we were told that we had to defeat Trump, therefore we had to support the corporate-backed Wall Street candidate, war hawk Hillary Clinton. And now we're being told, well, you know what, we didn't really mean that. He's not so bad, just calm down. It's gonna be all right. I mean, it's outrageous. But it's not. Really, the fear was never Trump. What they fear is the potential of socialist ideas being on the rise. What they fear is people being empowered, of frustration, of seeing that the electoral process in the US is rigged and it doesn't reflect the interests and the needs of working people, and that voting is not enough, and that people need to get in the streets. That scares the ruling class more than anything. They are scared of a united movement because for so long, they have used the tool of racism, of sexism, of homophobia and transphobia, of xenophobia, the threat of terrorism and foreign entities coming into our country and threatening democracy. They have used as a tool to advance capitalist interests. And right now, those tools are breaking down right before their eyes. I had the opportunity last night to go on BBC, and that was interesting. And I had the opportunity to debate the Democratic apologist, liberal Thomas Frank. But I want to talk about the Republican strategist that I had the opportunity to have a conversation with, Rick Wilson, who was advocating that the Republican Party is a party for working people and that they need to go back to their angel roots. They cut that part out too, because you can imagine what my response was. But what I saw, he got so frustrated that he called me a red diaper baby because I was presenting genuine ideas, and to the Republicans and right wing, genuine socialist Marxist ideas like kryptonite. They don't know what to do, so they just panic and then they shout things. So he said I was a red diaper baby. Well, I want to respond to him because I didn't get a chance to, because BBC at that point cut me off. But he's going to be very shocked to know that I am not a red diaper baby, and that 2 years ago, I had no idea what socialism was and what capitalism was or anything. And now 2 years later, I have the opportunity to win people over to socialist ideas. They believe. They believe that in order for someone to be revolutionary, that they had to have somehow just been told it or they were born into it, that you can't come to these ideas on your own. I will tell Rick Wilson that I myself am not a red diaper baby, but I am raising a red diaper baby. And I will make sure that my 4-year-old son will continue the tradition of revolutionary socialist ideas. And to give you an example of some of the things we do, because I'm teaching him sayings, he likes no justice, no peace, but his favorite that he likes is, we don't trust bourgeois capitalist press. And I will make sure to record that so you don't think I'm lying. He does say it, I promise you. What we saw after the election of Trump, with the work that our organization has been able to do, Socialist Alternative, just shows that our ideas are the right ones. In the US, for decades, the word socialism has been used as a taboo word. It has been stigmatized. To be a socialist, you're ostracized or you're looked at like you're crazy. But for a socialist organization of about 900 members to make a call and within hours get 40,000 people on the streets protesting against a rigged election shows the power of socialist ideas. We were able to force the bourgeois capitalist press, as my son likes, CNN, to conduct an interview with our member in Oakland, California. And they actually played nice because CNN is very open to attacking left radicals. But millions of people had the opportunity to hear real, genuine socialist ideas and a rejection of the two-party system at the time where it probably had the most viewership because the protests were happening at that time. We were able to get in on the conversation and present our ideas on corporate media and get 40,000 people in the streets. No other organization was able to make that call and do that. Since then, we have seen huge interest in our organization. Within 27 hours, we had 400 online applicants signing up to join our organization. In Boston, immediately the next day, we had a public meeting where 400 people attended to hear our ideas on how to build a genuine workers' party and how to advance against capitalism with genuine socialist ideas. That's not including our Facebook pages that have been blowing up and individual contacts that have been reaching out to us. What we are seeing that the possibility of building a workers' party in the U.S. is more prominent now than it has ever been before, and it gives me great, great joy. So, I have to sum up, but I will appeal to anyone here that now is more than ever the time to get in the streets and to fight against capitalism. It has proven itself time and time again as a failed system. It cannot deliver any of its promises, and it will continue to fail. And if you are not a member of Socialist Party UK, I suggest you join, because now the struggle is, have the opportunity to win the struggle against exploitation and inequality and advance an international socialist movement that fights on behalf of workers, that says, fuck you to the capitalists, we won't take it anymore, you will not run our lives, and true socialism and power to the people will remain true. Join our movement and let's fight and build a society that our children can be proud of, a society that works for everyone, despite your race, your religion, your sexual orientation. We have the opportunity now to win. And I say, let's get free, family. Yeah.